Oh, he's done it.
As well's got the finish.
That's in towards Tommy Conway.
Goal. Runners around him, goes on his own and scores a glorious goal.
Ruthless stuff from Bristol City. After their dismantling of Plymouth on Tuesday, the Reds are on the road again. Nigel Pearson returns for the first time to a place he holds such fond memories, with 3,500 buoyant Bristol City fans in tow. The last time the Robins faced the Foxes, Nigel was in the opposite dugout on his way to constructing a side that would go on to reach the summit of English football. Odds are stacked against the Reds today, but a reminder, they are unbeaten on the road. Anything could happen. Delighted to have you with us today on Robins TV. Can Bristol City continue their unbeaten form on the road? Watching it alongside me today is former Bristol City midfielder and Sunderland former midfielder as well, Gary Hours. Gary, delighted to have you with us. Really exciting fixture we've got in store today.
I think so. I mean, you said the odds were stacked against City. I'm going to disagree with you. They've been fantastic away from home on the travels, and the last game I watched at Swansea was brilliant, a fantastic away day, and I think this has got the makings of an excellent match, and I think there could be a little bit of surprise, and City can upset the apple cart if you like, and get a result up there.
We've kind of tended in previous years actually as well to do well in games where we're maybe not expected to go away and get a result, and just maybe the way Leicester will sort of come at City today might suit us.
Yeah, definitely. They won't sit back. They'll be open at times if City can break through the pressing game, which they will from time to time. City over the seasons have been really good counter-attacking, so I think it'll be a really entertaining match.
We're not going to get carried away, of course, but what has impressed you the most about Bristol City this season? Of course, now we've finally sort of broken the duck at home, and a brilliant way to do it, of course, with that victory over Plymouth. What elements of the game is impressing you the most?
I think they get on with it. I don't think the manager makes a fuss about anything or too much. I'm looking at the side now, and you can see consistency in the team selection. Individuals like Mark Sykes have been really impressive. They've been a lot more solid at the back, and hence that's why they've done well away from home, and obviously the result that they were looking for at home against Plymouth they got, and sat in a really nice position actually.
Super, thank you very much, Gary. We'll have more from Gary shortly, but it's now time for the all-important team news, and with that it's our lead commentator for the afternoon, it's Dan White.
Thank you very much, Toby. Yes, welcome to Leicester, arguably City's trickiest game of the season so far, but we shall wait and see, as Gary says, with just under half an hour to go until kick-off. Let's have a look at the teams then. Leicester first. They've made 5 changes from the team that beat Norwich in midweek, with Jamie Vardy returning to the side, and he wears the captain's armband as well today. He's going to be joined up top by Mavididi and the returning Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall, who managed to pick up an assist in that game, and he's rewarded with a start today. It's a midfield 3 of Wilfred Ndidi and Harry Winks, with Abdul Fatawu just ahead of them in that free roaming role, and the back 4 is relatively unchanged, apart from at right back, as Maresca goes for experience in Pereira ahead of Chowdhury, who filled in there during midweek. City will have to fight against the giants of Vestergaard and Face at centre back, with Callum Doyle, who isn't small himself by the way, playing at left back this afternoon. In goal it's Mads Hermansson. On the bench for Leicester, Stolarczyk is the sub-goalie. James Justin and Connor Cody could bring experience later on, as could Mark Albrighton. Kelechi Iheanacho, Chowdhury, Akgun and Casey McAteer round off a very strong bench for the Foxes. As for Bristol City, it's one change, and unfortunately Zach Vyner drops out of the squad entirely. More on that to come. He's going to be replaced by a returning Andy Vyman, who is back from his injury. Rob Dickey will line up alongside Cal Naismith at centre-back, with Tanner and Pring alongside them in a back 4. Joe Williams and a returning Matty James continue their midfield partnership, with Jason Knight just ahead of them. Up top, no change, as Sam Bell, Mark Sykes and Naki Wells will look to add to their combined 6 goals so far this season as a front 3. On the bench for City, it's Stefan Bajic alongside Harry Cornick, who's off and running for the season now, of course, after his goal on Tuesday. Andy King, he's back back at Leicester as well. He's on the bench with Anis Mehmeti, Andy Vyman, as we mentioned, Taylor Gardner-Hickman, Hayden Roberts, and the youngsters, Yeboah and Wilson. So Nigel Pearson back amongst familiar faces today. He's been chatting to Robbins TV and gives us an update on that team news.
Nigel, one change here at the King Power Stadium. Zach Vyner out, Rob Dickie in. Can you talk us through that one?
Well, Zach in the Plymouth game picked up an injury which didn't appear to be of any great significance, and he played on. But we've had him scanned. He's got a bit of damage to his knee, so we'll just assess that over the next days and decide how we approach it.
Just a word on Rob Dickie, hell of a replacement that, isn't it?
Yeah, very good, and he started the season exceptionally well. And it shows that the competition's real. So he missed a game because of suspension, but then it's important that players who are in the side do everything they can to keep other players out, and that's the ethos that we need. Zach so far this season's been exceptional, so he'll be a miss, but Rob comes in and he's got loads of experience, and hopefully he comes straight back in and plays as well as he can.
Andy Vyman back on the bench too, how big is that?
Yeah, massive for us. Not just in terms of him being available, but the fact that his presence and his leadership will come into the equation too. He's desperate to get back on the field and play, and he's having to deal with his disappointment of getting himself injured again. But that seems to be fine now. So hopefully he'll have a very positive impact on the game.
So obviously it's your return to the King Power Stadium. How does it feel being back here?
Yeah, a bit strange in some ways. But it's not me, not just me. It's we've got Dave. Dave was here for 25 years. Kingy and JMO too. I mean, they've been a big part of this club's success here. But look, we're here today to try and get a result for us, and so it's nice to see people that I've not seen for a long time. And I'm sure the players will get a warm reception too, as I hope we all get. But hey, we're down to business, and we're here to win a football match, and that's really the main message today.
You mentioned people you haven't seen in a while, people you saw on Tuesday night. There's 3,500 of them here today. Yeah. How brilliant are those fans going to be today?
Oh, I mean, look, the very fact that all our away games, basically, we more or less sell out, and it's testament to their passion for the club, for our club, and what we need to do every week is reward them with honest performances that they can see progress, and that's what we want to do. We want to create a winning ethos, and that only comes through players really committing to not just the game in the individual game, each game that we play, but also to us as a club, and I think that's happening, and it's really good to see.
And Gary, Nigel mentions the 3,500 fans travelling up there today. When you were at the Swansea game, how impressive were they in the away end?
Yeah, it was brilliant to see all those fans behind the goal, and especially when the goal's going at that end and the players can enjoy celebrating with the fans. And 3,500 making the trip up there this afternoon, it's a fantastic following.
Yeah, and you obviously spent a large portion of your career up at Sunderland. What's it like when you go back to a place you hold so closely to your heart like that? Yeah,
it's always emotional. It's many years since I left Sunderland, but I always get looked after when I go back. I get a couple of invites up a year, and I always try and make sure that I go up, and whether it's a game of golf or I'll be going up there for the weekend this year when City play. So yeah, I look forward to that. But it's nice, but Nigel said it, he's not there for the warm reception. He wants to go there and get a result for City.
Absolutely right. Well, we heard there from Nigel Pearson speaking about Zach Vyner. Looks like he could be out for a little while with that knee injury. Hopefully nothing too serious, but it comes after, of course, his contract news and a real upturn in form as well. We caught up with him just a couple of weeks ago, and here's part 2 of that interview.
Yeah, that was I wouldn't say. Well, it kind of was chucked in. It was a bit. I didn't expect it. I remember travelling with the first team, doing my song, doing all that sort of stuff. What did I sing now? I sang Jason Mraz, "I'm Yours." Couldn't tell you why, but sang that. Thought it'd get everyone going. Didn't. And then we had. I think Mark Little had a. had a little knock that he was carrying, and I think he did a fitness test in the morning, and he wasn't obviously right for the game. And I can remember him coming up to me, well, him and the gaffer coming up to me, like as we're on the way to the game or in the pre-match at the hotel, come up to me and said, "Listen, I don't think I'm going to be playing. Like, I think you're going to be in, blah blah, all that sort of stuff." And I was a bit like, "Well, okay, this is real now. It's happening." So I literally found out probably, a couple hours before the game that I was actually going to be starting. And yeah, it was great. It was a great game, and I can remember doing pretty well, and it was fantastic. Yeah, and I loved that moment, and I'll remember that moment, for as long as I'm playing football, as long forever really. So yeah, it was a special moment, special day.
What did Lee Johnson say to you on that day at the Stadium MK?
Yeah, to be fair, he was great. He told me that I was going to be playing, and he said, just do what you've been doing to be with us, and be up with the first team. So he kind of just took away all the, I wouldn't say took away all the nerves, because obviously I was nervous, but he helped me calm down, and a lot of the lads were getting around me. I played next to Flinty, and he was great with me. He was telling me, talking to me the whole game, and just sort of being that senior pro that I needed to sort of get through that game and get through I wouldn't say get through the game, actually, just more get through the emotions of that game, because it can be, it can be quite an emotional day, and you're thinking everything's going a million miles an hour for you, and just to be able to slow it down and play my game was what I needed, and everyone around me was doing that, and it was great for me.
A 2-0 win that day at Stadium MK. Did it feel extra special to be part of a winning team?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously, winning that game, and being part of all the emotions of the celebrations and everything like that, and just sort of, luckily, obviously my dad was there, luckily, so I ran over with the celebrations. I was looking at him, and it was a great day, and yeah, like I said, it's something that I'll remember forever, and it was obviously a great moment for me in my career, and to kick off my footballing career with a win and a clean sheet was lovely.
Gutted he's missing out today, but you've seen the evolution of Zach Vyner in recent years. He's really come into his own, hasn't he?
Oh, fantastic. I mean, he comes across in that interview so well, really level-headed young man, and he really has developed his career excellent. He's gone from strength to strength. A few question marks, obviously, a couple of seasons ago, but he's answered all those questions, and yeah, it's sad that he's missing out, but hopefully he's going to be a part of the furniture here at City for many years to come now.
Fingers crossed. Thank you very much, Gary. Right, not long to go now until kick-off, and we'll catch up with all the highlights from that dismantling of Plymouth earlier on this week after this short break. Welcome back to Robins TV. Bristol City against Leicester this afternoon in the Sky Bet Championship. I'm alongside Gary Hours, but many of you are watching today all around the world, which is fantastic to see. We've always got a strong contingent in Australia, but let's have a look then at some of the places you are watching from today. First up, we've got Mr. Dean Allen, who was at Ashton Gate last weekend, in fact, for the West Brom game, but now he's just pulled up on board the Symphony in the port of Naples in Italy. Great to have you with us, Dean. We've got Andrew, that looks like a nice setup there in Bali, a bit later in Bali. And then we've got Chris out in Kuala Lumpur as well. We're going to see how exotic we can get as the season goes on. So make sure you send your pictures to us on Twitter and we'll make sure we feature those on the show. You may have been watching earlier on this week as well as Bristol City got their campaign underway at Ashton Gate for the season with a thumping 4-1 win over Plymouth. Here's all the key bits.
Conley Smith is capable with that left foot of his, but he goes short. Flicked on by Bell and it's turned home. And indeed, the alarm bells are ringing for Plymouth. He was at the front post to flick on. Definitely went in off Kessler Hayden, but Bell will claim it. The ideal start for City. They really have the bit between their teeth here. Bell. Happy to show a bit of patience. Pring. Likewise. Oh, lovely flick from Bell. Makes his way to the back post. Picked up by Tanner. Across. Oh, it's spilled. And it's 2! Matty James. And the second lowest scorers in the league aren't hanging around here. 8 minutes gone. James is second of the season. It's the first time they've gone 2-0 up within 10 minutes under Nigel Pearson. It's a loose pass which City will look to pounce upon. And Knight sees Sykes all on his own. Plymouth have gone to sleep. Sykes for 3. He had all the time in the world and all the composure in it as well. Sykes is second of the season. It's a strange phenomena he's got going on with Sam Bell. When one of them scores, the other normally does as well. That's the way it's been recently. And if Bell's claiming that goal early on, Sykes will have that. Maybe 4 or 6 points from those games would be a bit of a statement as they put a bit of form together. As Naismith slides in, Cornick! That'll do it. Any sniff Plymouth had is gone, evaporated. And the substitute gets the 4th of the evening. Lovely disguise from Naismith. Bit of fortune on the finish of Kessler Hayden again, who has an inadvertent hand in a second goal.
Well, what a victory that was, and one of the standout performers was the ever-consistent Matty James. A big day for him, of course, with his return to the King Power for the first time for an opposing team. So we have a look then at how influential he was during that game against Plymouth on Tuesday. We've seen the goal once, we may as well relive it. I think we kind of underestimate, Gary, how good the flick was initially here from Sam Bell, but has Matty James maybe given a bit of sort of licence to try and push forward?
Yeah, you sort of look at him as a holding midfield player, but you see his build-up play is good in the first phase, and then the game continues, and he doesn't switch off. He takes up a good position in the middle of the pitch, and he's getting into the box. He wants to get into the box, and he reacts first. 3 or 4 Plymouth defenders, but he's on the move in the box, and he nicks a goal out of it, and that's great to see. I think he's got 2 this season, same as the last goal he scored, I think at Millwall from the flick. It's all about the timing of the run, and you've got to get in the box if you're going to score in the first place, and he's looks like he's adding that to his game this season.
Yeah, well, it's been his first goal for Bristol City that wasn't in injury time, but of course important that goals are coming in from all over in the pitch, and I like the fact he gave it to the away fans there as well. Right, let's turn our attention to Leicester City. Obviously, their side is full of threats, and this is the press high up the field, which we've sort of identified as one of their strong points. And they pick it up here against Southampton before Vardy finishes, and it was a bit of a dismantling of Southampton the other night as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a high press, high energy. The fashionable word is counter press, obviously, which sort of Liverpool developed that style of play under Jurgen Klopp. But yeah, they look fit, athletic, strong, composed there as well on the finish when they're getting there. So City will have to be very aware of that. They'll have to take real care of the ball and be aware that when they are playing out from the back, from the goalkeeper, they will come under pressure.
Absolutely, and of course if you get beyond the press, they still have that counter-attacking ability as well, Leicester City, and we saw it against Norwich, and it was actually 3 Leicester City players against 4 Norwich defenders, but I guess given their quality they have the ability to really just tear teams apart.
Yeah, but again, the willingness to run forward ahead of the ball, and something I picked up early in my career is when you're on the counter-attack, stay on the counter-attack. They don't rush the passes, they wait for play to develop, and they just pick Norwich off there, and it is a really, really outstanding goal.
And we look through that starting 11 today for Leicester City. The bench, if anything, could sort of start the game and be as equally strong. Where can Bristol City look to, even when they've got this sort of ability, where can Bristol City look to punish the Foxes today?
I think they're just going to play their own game, and we know that they're capable of counter-attacking, so they're always likely to grab or nick a goal on the counter-attack. Of course, Leicester will not sit back. They will really go and take the game to City, and I think that'll suit them. So if they can sort of, stay in the game early on, I think, don't concede an early goal and just build the way into the game. But I'm actually dreading the game because I think I can only pronounce Harry Winks and Jamie Vardy, and after that I'm struggling.
We'll leave that to Dan anyway. It's fine. Don't worry. That's not your role. But I mean, looking at Bristol City though, just briefly, that front three and the fact that we could bring on such a strong front three the other night. Ephraim Yeboah came on. He didn't look out of place as we've become accustomed to now. We're very strong in those front three positions, and we can bring on legs late on in a game.
Yeah, the 2 wide players are in outstanding form. Sam Bell has been terrific and he has got raw pace, but Mark Sykes has really brought something to City's side in recent weeks. Calm, composed, he's scoring goals and he's also creating. So of course we've got Narky Wells as well leading the line, so yeah, they carry a threat, certainly.
Naki's only got 1 goal this season. He'll be chomping at the bit to get more. I think he had 5 by this point last season.
Yeah, he will, and he wants to play. We'll see the passion. He doesn't like getting taken off, and hopefully today's his day.
Fingers crossed. And if you had to put a sort of prediction to this game today, you seem more optimistic than maybe me. I was sort of gunning for a draw, but
I've seen all the way. They've been fantastic away from home. They'll go there. They'll really enjoy it. It'll be a massive atmosphere, big following. I think I've got them down to get at least a point.
Yeah, fingers crossed. And we haven't really mentioned Zach Vyner. We've obviously heard about his knee injury, but Rob Dickie, a very able replacement today.
Yeah, of course, has experience. Seen him feature on the left side. Now he comes into his natural right side. He'll be one to impress Nigel because he's fallen out the side, and more than capable replacement, and it's his shirt now, so he'll want to stay in the team. I think Nigel will be fair. Zach's going to have a little bit of time away from the team, and hopefully Rob Dickie can do well.
Thank you very much, Gary. Right, well, many of you are watching us today on YouTube and Facebook. If you are overseas, of course, you can still download your matchday pass, but for now it's bye from us on social media.